Welcome to the Mindset Architect Podcast, where it's all about creating the life you want, the business you want, and making a real difference. Join us in unlocking the code to true success. And now your host, Tony Caliendo, Master Coach with Rethink Coaching.
Welcome to the Mindset Architect Podcast, episode number 109. I'm Tony Caliendo, Master Coach here at Rethink Coaching. And as always, I want to thank you for sharing your time with me. Time truly is our greatest asset. And the fact that you're willing to share your time with me truly does mean a great deal. So thank you so much for being here and being part of my world. It is a gorgeous weekend here in Santa Fe. We had our first taste of winter and we woke up to snow capping what we call Baldy, which is the ski resort that we can see from our back windows, and it's beautiful. It's turning out to be a gorgeous fall for us here in Santa Fe, New Mexico. And today I was thinking a lot about what I wanted to talk about on this podcast, and it's coming from a very personal place right now because of several projects that I'm working on. I shared with you, I'm working on a large project that's taking me beyond my comfort zone. I'm working on a couple projects that are happening in Dallas, a couple projects that are going to be happening in Miami, a couple projects that are happening in other parts of Texas. And I have had moments recently of feeling like I just can't, yet I must. And I don't know if any of you can relate to that, but that's where I have been a little bit lately, more than ever before. And, there's just moments when, as a human being, you hit the wall. You're maybe mentally, emotionally, physically, or all of them. And every single ounce of your being is screaming, I can't. Yet sometimes we still must. We still have to. And in this episode, I want to dive a little bit into those moments and give you some insight as to how I work through them when I experience them, and how to find the grit, the grace, and the growth that happens on the other side. And so just know that what you're feeling, if you're in that place of, gosh, I just don't think I can, but you must, that it's normal and that we have the choice to work through it. So number one, I think the most important thing for us to do, and what I've had to do of late, is recognize the signal of I can't. And for me, it's easy. It's when I tell myself, I can't do this. I don't think that I can do this right now. And it's having those moments where I'm having that thought more often than I would like. And they're really just signs of overwhelm, exhaustion, fear, maybe burnout. So last week was a big week for one of the projects I'm working on that we had a lot of critical deadlines, like 3 of them happening at one time that required a lot of attention. And so I think most of you know I love my 7 a.m. yoga. And so my mornings had to start incredibly early and to accommodate work, life, yoga, all of the stuff. And then they involved late nights. So projects in the morning, my typical coaching schedule during the day, and then projects again in the evening. So it's super early mornings for me, which are natural. 4:30 a.m. is my natural wake up time. Yet going to bed at midnight and 1 every night for a week does take its toll on you. And I was really experiencing it. And I had to stop and ask myself the question, right? What does this I can't mean? It's not it's not defeat, it's data. So what data am I trying to process when I'm saying to myself that I can't? And what is the resistance that I'm experiencing telling me? What is it demonstrating to me that I need to pay attention to and that I need to know? So those are really important things to consider for the resistance. For me, when I'm resisting something, it's usually because I am uncertain or I am not wanting to do something. And one of my tech people that handles our CRM changed companies, long story, but some of it is falling on my shoulders. I'm not a tech person. And so the resistance to even sometimes taking the next step and feeling that I can't for me was just because I was resisting doing something that I don't enjoy doing. I'm basically taking a job back that I never wanted to do in the first place, and I'm doing it again. So some of my I can't that was happening was strictly in the form of resistance. And it again was just data I had to process. So know that it's not a sign of weakness, that you're just human. For me, It's just embracing the moment that I'm in and recognizing that I can't is a symptom. I can't is a warning sign. I can't is a natural reflex to pushing back into rejecting or resisting something that you maybe don't want to do or not comfortable doing. A lot of reasons can happen. So that's the number one thing, is just honor that I can't signal. Number two is to separate urgency from important. And there's a huge difference, right? Not everything that feels urgent is actually important. There were several deadlines that were put on us, myself and my agent, to meet, and they weren't negotiable, and they're not negotiable. And so it was very urgent and important. And then I found myself labeling other activities that I needed to do as urgent when they really weren't. And they weren't really even important, but I felt like I had to get it done in order to move to the next phase. And that just wasn't the truth. So separating urgency from important is critical, because not everything urgent is important and not everything important is urgent. And that's really important. So does this need to be done now is a great simple question that I ask myself when I'm in that space of urgency and I feel like everything is important. Does it need to be done now, or am I just pressured to perform? And where's the pressure coming from? Usually it's coming from you. For me, it is. I put an incredible amount of pressure on myself because I am someone that if I say I'm going to do something and I'm going to have it done by a certain date, or you request and impose a deadline on me, I'm not going to let you down. And so there's a lot of pressure coming from inside, not just external expectations. So just keep in mind, does it need to be done now, or am I just pressured to perform? And where's that pressure coming from? When you must push through, make sure it's something aligned with your values, not just external expectations. So for me, every project that I'm working on right now is equally as important. And I have the privilege of working with some incredible people right now and doing some phenomenal things. And so I have to really just tell myself that everything I'm doing is actually aligned with my values. Everything that I'm doing right now, once the breakthrough and the push through happens, is going to be phenomenal. I just have to make sure urgent and important are in alignment, and that I'm not making things that aren't important urgent and driving myself crazy. Number three is shrink the mountain, right? Micro perseverance. So you don't climb a mountain in one step. You don't run a marathon in one breath. We do micro moments. So breaking down the moment really helps. And for me, I'm a pen and paper guy. I always have been. I've got an iPad, which I've got notes on right now that I'm reading to you on. Yet I always have a legal pad next to me. And I have a legal pad for every single project that I'm working on right now. And when I felt like I just can't, yet I had to, or I must, I go to my legal pad, I go to my pen and paper, and I really dump out everything that I must do. And I prioritize those items. I take control of it in baby steps. And I look at the list, and sometimes that list will be overwhelming. And I just think to myself, okay, what are the 5 things that must happen today? And sometimes I get with the 5 outlined and I think I could probably do more. Maybe it's 7, maybe it's 8 items. Or sometimes I outline the 5 and I think I can't get to all 5. They're monumental. So I do micro perseverance. I shrink the mountain. I break it down into consumable actions that I know I can complete for the day. I don't set myself up for failure. And sometimes it's just as simple as, for me, I own defeat, and I reached out to somebody that could handle the tech part that I didn't want to take back, and I paid them to do it. Sometimes it means just saying, I can't do it all. What can I leverage out, and who can I have help me? I don't have to own the whole thing. So it might be just sending an email. It might be reaching out to somebody that you can bring on a temp basis. It might be as simple as just taking a deep breath, collecting yourself. That's how I collect myself, is with my legal pad. Some of us might meditate. Some of us might do breath exercise. And sometimes it's just getting out of bed. I will tell you, there's a couple mornings when I was waking up and, again, normal wake up time. And I had moments of, I have a whole lot to do this morning before yoga, or I have a whole lot to do this morning before my first client at 9 o'clock. And I laid there for a minute and felt myself creating my own overwhelm. And I just said, okay, what are the things I'm going to get done this morning before I leave the house? What are the things I'm going to get done when I get back before a client call? What is going to happen in between client calls? And I just micromanaged that time. Number 4, this is a hard one. I will tell you, it's a hard one for me. Let go of hero mode. There's a thing for me. I'm very stoic and I own things at a very high level and I like things to be perfect and I know better. Yet when I get into this kind of spiral, I don't realize how much pressure I'm putting myself on to be perfect. And, it's fun. I have an amazing agent. I've got an amazing coach. I've got an amazing team. And I really just had to ask for help, which is not something I love doing because I agreed to the projects. My team didn't. I agreed to do certain things. My team did not. Yet I had to just admit I was struggling. I was in over my head on several things and lean into help, leverage. There's power in community. And that's what I realized is I really needed to lean into that. And a lot of times just perseverance, that breaking through to the next level is a collective act, not a solo act. And so letting go of hero mode, I call it Superman moment where you're going to save the day and you're going to do everything. And that can get you into a really dark place if you're feeling already overwhelmed, stressed, and you can't get it done. So don't be your own hero. Let it go. Number 5, tap into your why. I think this is really important. I talk about it all the time. Yet in moments like this where you are feeling overwhelmed or stressed or burned out, it's really important to remember why you're doing what you're doing. So tap back into that why, reconnect with the deeper reason why you're doing what you're doing. Again, it's the impact on me, impact on family and friends, impact on my team, impact on my legacy. I have to bring that to the front of mind so that I can reattach to it so that it gets me out of overwhelm, resistance, and burnout. And I have another reason, a kind of a recharge to get back on track. So for me, my why typically always resonates. If you're in a moment of I can't, burnout, frustration, whatever, overwhelm, and the why is not helping you get out of that, you might have to change course. You might have to just honor that and say, okay, this maybe is not in alignment. I thought it was in alignment with my values, but maybe it's not. I just need to regroup for a second and make sure that every project or the project that is causing me the most angst, the one that is causing me to say I can't, is in alignment with my why, that it's actually going to support what I want it to support. It's important to just reconnect to that. The number 6 thing is rest as resistance. So you can pause without giving up. Pausing is not failure. Recovery is part of perseverance. And sometimes the bravest thing you can do is to stop for now. So you can resume later, full of energy and gusto. I had to do this. So like I said, every day for the last 7 days prior to this podcast, I was burning the candle at both ends, morning, noon, and night. And we were having plans with a dear friend of ours on Friday. And I came really close to canceling it because I still had a lot to do. And I had to show myself grace and give myself permission that it was okay to put the laptop down. It was okay to put the yellow notepad down. It was okay to put the iPad away. It was okay to let it go for an evening. One evening. That's it. I resumed activity the very next morning. I had my call with my agent, I had a call with my coach. But that pause that I took, that pause that I gave myself permission to take was really exactly what I needed. I laughed. We had great conversation. We reconnected. And at the end of the night, I felt really good because part of my why is to have moments with friends, do what I want when I want. And that was one of those moments that was just reassuring that the projects I'm working on are going to create more of those moments. And I just needed to persevere, but I needed to give myself a mental break. And so rest was the best thing I could have done. Pausing is not giving up. Not sometimes it's recalibrating. Sometimes it's recasting. Sometimes it's just completely unplugging and detaching from all your projects so that you can collect yourself, treat yourself to something, and then move forward. So for me, I will connect with a friend, or sometimes when I'm pausing, we're very blessed here in Santa Fe with incredible spas. We have a Korean spa. We've got another Ojo Caliente spa where you can escape for a couple hours and get a treatment done, or just sit in meditation rooms, or reserve a hot tub on the side of the mountain. That's a pause to me. And sometimes I have to take a severe pause, like get out of my house, get away from technology, leave my phone in a locker so that I can detach and pause. So figure out what it is for you that allows you to hit the pause button, recharge, recalibrate, and then resume. Super, super important. Number 7, and I laugh when I say this, but it's so simple, right? Just look back. You've done hard things before. I always look back and I think, okay, I've done things that were way harder than what I'm doing right now. And here's good news. I survived. Here's the good news. I didn't die. Here's the good news. I've conquered harder things in the past. History shows that I'm capable of pushing through challenging times, and it's going to show it again. So just remind yourself, this is not the first time that you've dealt with difficult things. This is not the first time that you've maybe felt like you just can't and you couldn't move further, move forward, but you survived, you overcame, and you adapted. Evidence of your past resilience really can be fuel for your present struggle. So here's what I'm going to say in closing. Perseverance really isn't about being fearless or tireless. It's about choosing. And sometimes shakily, sometimes slowly, we choose to take one more step, one more breath, say, okay, maybe I'm going to do it again tomorrow. You don't need to push through everything in that exact moment, but you can honor the strength that you have that's still in you, even if it's a little quiet right now. I think as we are approaching end of year, there's going to be moments where we might feel like we can't push to get to goal. We just can't do any more. We're tapped out. We're burnt out. We're frustrated. We're exasperated, whatever it is that you're feeling. And you have that feeling of, I just can't. It's okay to have that feeling, but take a look at these 7 steps and get back on track. So number 1, recognize that you're saying it, that there's that signal, and embrace that it's data, not defeat. It's just data your brain's processing. It's telling you a story that you can't. It's data. That's all it is. It's not defeat. Separate urgent from important. Things that are urgent are not always important. Things that are important are not always urgent. There are important, urgent things that need to be done, yet separate and really assess, is what I'm creating an urgency around that I view as important. Is it both urgent and important? Where does it fall? Allow yourself to have a moment to recalibrate. Micro perseverance, small steps, climb the mountain one step at a time. Break it down into consumable. It helps your brain celebrate little wins along the way. It will make all the difference in the world. Number 4, let go of that hero mode. Don't be the hero. Ask for help. Admit that you need help. Find leverage. Find people that you can trust. And do not be ashamed of having to ask for help. Number 5, really tap into your why. Reconnect to it. Super important that we do that, and that we make sure that we're still in alignment, or that project you're working on that you feel like you can't is connected to your why. If it's not, you might have to recalibrate. Number 6, give yourself permission to pause, to rest. You need it. I will tell you, the moment I did some pause this week, I did a couple things. I did a treatment and I had a friend over, and it was really the best recharge moment I could have had. That pause, that 2-hour pause on Friday for dinner with a friend, the 3-hour pause to get a spa treatment done, really was, as they say, what the doctor ordered. And it allowed me to think clearer, because on an unconscious level, even though I was checked out, my unconscious mind was working towards that goal still. And when I re-engaged really powerfully. So allow it. And then number 7, just look back. You've got evidence to prove that you've been through hard times before. You've got evidence to prove that you had moments when you thought you just couldn't do it. You couldn't, yet you did, and you persevered. End of year's coming. We may have a gap in goal. We may have some goals that are not being met quite yet, and we want to push through, but we feel like we can't. Pay attention to those 7 steps and do yourself a favor. Do it now. We still have plenty of time in the year to make a difference in our goals. we still have plenty of time to get out of the I can't into the I can and embrace it at a really high level. As always, you have a question about this or anything else, please just reach out to me. Tony@rethinkcoaching.com is the best way to find me. It's my email. Reach out. I offer a free strategy session for anybody who reaches out. I will answer you back. So check your email or your spam. That has happened before where I've responded to somebody's email. They're like, he didn't mean it. He never called me or he never emailed me. I did, and it was in their spam. So check it. If you reach out to me, I will get back to you. You can find my cell phone anywhere on the internet. Just reach out and call me. I'll be happy to help you out about this or anything else you have. So go turn that I can't into an I can. Take a moment. It's okay. Show yourself some grace. Realize that you're only human. You're not a machine, and you'll get through it. I promise you will. All right. We'll talk to you next week. Make it a good one.
If you enjoyed listening to this podcast, you must come check out the Mindset Architect Group Coaching Program. It's our monthly program where we explore the power of your mindset, help you identify what you truly want in business and life, and then help you reach those goals. Come check us out at rethinkcoaching.com/group-program. That's rethinkcoaching.com/group-program. We'll see you there.